Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Brought to you by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball, because fundamental development starts with focus. Find them at focusbaseball.com.
Welcome back to the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy Wirtz in for Mitch Thunder Nellis. Packers all-time leading scorer still here. Mason, you still here?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm ready to
all
roll.
right.
And you can see us on YouTube. I'm even wearing my my Green Bay Packers shirt.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
So.
I'm all over the place. We have
all over.
no Brewer representation at all with a Bucs shirt, Tigers hat right now.
They have to earn it back.
Not a Tigers fan, just a Magnum PI fan. That's it. Nothing else.
That's right.
Joining the show now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices, it is Drew Wagner from Forbes Sports. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, boys.
How are we doing? How was the drive down, Drew?
Chicago is just... Why does it exist?
Well, hey, if you didn't see, though, I mean, the Bears are going to be really good. You know, they played a great preseason game, so now it's they're all over. I'm reading right now, what should Caleb Williams' ceiling be with Ben Johnson? Because they played the Bills team that didn't start any of their players, and they just went out there and dominated. So do you think the Bears are going to win the NFC North now? Is that your prediction?
I'm a Bears fan twice a year. You want to guess, Mason, what those
get out of here.
Are?
Get out of
I
here.
know.
Why do we even let you on the show? Are you going to have to do both leadoff shows with Tommy today? So do you get to just talk to Tommy all day today?
It's going to be Wagner and Tommy all day long.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't want it any other way, right, Drew? I mean, Drew Wagner joining us here from Forbes Sports. Drew, heading down to Chicago now, 4 days, 5 games in that stretch now. Drew, I'd like to just talk about the game today, or games today, real quick first. We know Freddie Peralta's set to start in game number 1 today. We still have no probables listed for either of the teams heading into tonight's game. Do you have any inside information on where we might be going in that direction, Drew?
We do not. We have no announcement yet. If I were a betting man and gambling is illegal at Bushwood, I would say it's going to be Chad Patrick.
Okay. Chad Patrick looking to be the guy in game
Bring
number 2.
him back into the fold.
Do you think Brewers fan, like for a guy like Patrick, like just getting back into it after really this team is almost completely different since he's come back? Do you think the guys are going to be pumped up to see him again, or do you think it's going to be hard to acclimate again for Chad Patrick after being away for some time now? Because so much has changed, it feels like, for the Brewers since we last saw him.
Sorry, I got distracted by the world's cutest pitbull. But, yeah, I think it'll be fine for Chad Patrick. I mean, listen, these guys have a job to do. He knows all the guys in the clubhouse. They all know what he can do. It's not like he has to prove himself or introduce himself to anybody. It's not all that different. I mean, if you think about it, the core, it's pretty much the same core. The pitching staff has changed a little bit since Chad Patrick came up, but he's been around all those guys.
Well, let's rewind just a little bit, Drew, since we talked to you last. Obviously, we had the Cincinnati Reds series over the weekend. That 14-game win streak came to an end yesterday. Talk about what that series was. I mean, obviously, Friday, the 8-1, the comeback to win that game, the home run on Saturday, and then, losing a bit of a heartbreaker when you had the lead in the 9th after Bill Contreras' home run. Just talk about what that means for this team and, kind of how you feel about that series over the weekend.
I mean, they got lucky. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. And they came from behind. They wiped up a huge deficit Friday night. I mean, they played good baseball against.
Yeah, they could have easily gotten swept this weekend, right?
Things are breaking in their favor, and sometimes that's how it goes during winning streaks. Was it perfect? Far from it, but you walk out of there with a series victory. You keep growing your lead. I mean, it wasn't as good as you can expect.
I mean, you got guys falling down in left field. Who was that? The Reds.
Fraley, yeah.
Fraley. I mean, he literally just
DFA'd.
Yes, yeah, got cut right after that.
It's
Drew.
crazy. I know, like that kind of stuff is wild, and that's happening with this Brewers team. But it's, again, you kind of create your own luck. You hit enough, get enough balls in play. They're stressing because you're going to run the bases effectively. And so teams are trying to rush and hurry and get to those grounders, in different ways than they probably would against other teams, because they just don't want this Brewers team to get hot and get extra bases. So that kind of stuff just keeps happening for this Brewers team. Now, after losing the game and breaking the streak, what do you look for? I mean, obviously, I'm sure Pat Murphy, they're in that clubhouse, they're getting ready to roll, and it's just all right, on to the next. Let's learn from that, and let's go play against this Cubs team. And we got 2 against them today. So, what do you expect from this Brewers team in this series against the Cubs?
I mean, I don't expect anything that we haven't seen the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're not going to change their approach. But listen, the pressure in this series is kind of off the Brewers at this point. When it was first on the schedule, the doubleheader, everyone's looking at this as the Brewers' chance to gain some ground.
To get back,
now, Now it's kind of like the Cubs' last stand. They have to – all the pressure is on them this week. The Brewers can pretty much ice it, lock it up with a series victory, but pressure's on the Cubs.
We got Drew Wagner, our Forbes Sports, inside the clubhouse for our Milwaukee Brewers. He's in Chicago. He's cruising around trying to strike fear into all those Cubs and Bears fans down there. And but something we talked about earlier on the show is it felt like yesterday, maybe for the first time in a while, maybe they put a lineup, they put some things out there, and maybe gave some guys a couple breathers heading into this Cubs series, where it's if we can steal and win this, and sweep the Reds with this group, that would be awesome. But we're not too concerned about it. We got to prepare for the Cubs. Do you feel like maybe that happened for the first time yesterday, where it just wasn't the the lineup that we all kind of expected heading into this Cubs series?
I mean, kind of. I don't think they were letting off the gas by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think they were just, going through it. It's just, you're going to have days where you have to sit guys, especially with the stretch that's coming up. I wouldn't read too much into that. And I don't think their approach changes going into this. I think it's just go out and win series. That's it. Win the day, then win the series. And then everything after that is gravy.
I saw Blake Perkins is off the bereavement list, but is Isaac Collins expected? Is he back as well? I didn't see that that news. Is he off of the paternity list?
Yeah, he's on the paternity list. Not sure if he's back yet. We're expecting him back today, but we haven't been in the clubhouse yet, so I'm sure that'll be announced probably within the next hour.
Okay, nice. So we just got something on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line that someone's saying there might be a rain out for the second game today. Do you think how's the weather looking there in Chicago? Is it a nice day, or is there a chance something might happen later on today?
It's going to be hot and humid and gross, and there are storms in the forecast for this afternoon and evening, so it's anybody's guess. The way that these guys handle weather-related scheduling, you never know what's going to happen, but the forecast does not look great for later today.
Drew Wagner joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show, Forbes Sports. Follow him on Twitter @by Andrew Wagner. Drew, I don't know, I can't remember now. I think the Brewers have had at least one doubleheader already this year. I remember that. But what's the mindset and what's the change in the clubhouse when you really can't even necessarily think past today at all during this day, because you have a game early at 1 o'clock today from Wrigley, 1:20 first pitch, and then you have to immediately throw everything away coming back at 7 o'clock tonight. How have you seen the Brewers react in these doubleheader games, and how do you think they will act after coming off the big streak against 14 straight wins, and now it's a division rival you got to play twice in one day?
You haven't seen a lot of these doubleheader games, to be honest with you, especially the split doubleheader. But I don't think anything's going to change. I mean, these guys had pretty much been the same in the clubhouse after a victory, after a loss, and they've had the same kind of individual, singular focus. So I don't think anything changes. I really don't.
What do you? I got to go back to the because just didn't have a chance to even talk about it. But Yelich and the Euchre bat. I mean, what did that mean to the guys in the locker room? To just kind of what the culture is and what this season means. I mean, what was the feel around that team whenever he hit 2 home runs using that Bob Euchre kind of commemorative bat?
I mean, I think it was a pretty cool moment for those guys. I think, everyone there was close to him, some more than others. Yelich had been there for so long, so he had a very close relationship. I think it was a special moment for him, no doubt. I think we're making a little too much of this whole Euchre magic thing. I mean, it's a great storyline. But listen, it's important to note that all this talk about luck and magic and this is a really damn good baseball team. And they're winning these games, on their own accord. And sometimes it kind of gets lost that all this crazy magical stuff is happening when at the end of the day, it's a ridiculously good baseball team.
So we're not seeing like an Angels in the outfield situation. No. Okay. All right.
I'm away from that as well. Drew, what do you think was the most impressive thing from the 14-game win streak? Was it in that Cincinnati series? Do you go back sooner from there? Do you go back all the way to like the last time they lost? They were playing the Cubs right during this. When you look back at that 14-game streak, that is going to be how 2025 gets remembered. I already said they don't really they don't raise banners for 14-game win streaks, but it's definitely something historic. It's Brewers history now. What do you think is a moment that everyone goes back and looks on during that stretch?
Well, that's the thing is, if that's what the takeaway is from this season, then this season went very badly at the end.
Yeah.
You're hoping, and I'm pretty sure that everyone in that clubhouse is hoping that 14-game winning streak is kind of an afterthought when the book is finally written on this squad. They've got bigger aspirations. Now, going back to, what was the most impressive thing about it, I think it's the fact that every day it was somebody different, and that over the course of those 14 games, you basically had everyone on the roster contributing in one way or another at one time or another.
Yeah, for sure. Drew, I mean, do you, when you look at this Brewers team and, what you just said, I mean, they have to be considered at the moment, through the course of the season, as the most complete baseball team right now. I mean, they're you can't look at too many other teams, and they're still not the favorite to win the World Series, but there are not too many. There are not other teams that you can say, man, I can depend on any given guy on any given night to show up and help this team win. I mean, would you say this is the most complete baseball team in the major leagues right now?
I don't know how you can't. I mean, let's face it, there are teams out there that have much better talent. The Dodgers probably have
just like star power,
even all of baseball, and their roster is laden with talent. But in terms of playing like a team right now and getting those contributions from all over, it's hard. It's hard to find anyone that's been more productive as a full roster than the Brewers right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And we talked about that, early in the show as well. And I kind of, went back into, Packers days and, win streaks and, consecutive, made field goal streaks, things like that. What is, the reset and is a little bit of pressure now off of this team to go out there and just, focus on this Cubs game. You kind of get the weight of day in and day out, carrying the streak and doing all of that. Do you feel like they are going to just reset and come out guns blazing against this Cubs team just because now it's all right, we let one get away there against Cincinnati. We had a chance to win that one too. How do they reset against this Cubs team?
I think it's the same way that they've reset after every other loss and honestly after every victory. Again, it's beating it like a dead horse, but they come in every single day focused on the job at hand. I was talking to a friend this weekend. What's the difference in the clubhouse now between now and April? And really, there isn't. They had the same kind of mentality, the same approach when they were losing and getting their butts handed to them as they do now. It was just as simple as, well, we have a game today. Yesterday's over with. Tomorrow we'll deal with then. We have a game in front of us right now. So I think the resetting part is easy because that's what they've done every day, win or lose all season long.
All right, we got Drew Wagner, our Brewers clubhouse insider. He is in Chicago, the mean streets of Chicago, walking around. Be safe out there. Before we let you go, we were talking about Trey Hendrickson. I know you're a Bengals fan. What would you, if you were GM of the Bengals, what would you have to get to give up Trey Hendrickson right now?
Well, that's the problem, Mason, is the Bengals don't have a GM. And that's the first. That's really the problem with the organization. It's Mike Brown, the owner. Like I got excited the other day when I looked on Twitter and I saw Mike Brown was trending. For a brief second, I would never hope for anyone's demise, but I thought maybe the old man's finally gone, and it wasn't. It was just more of their shenanigans.
They find a structure that is actually makes sense over there in Cincinnati.
Drew, did you bring down Craig Counsell a voucher for George Webb because he said he'd never seen it before? Did you do that as well?
I forgot. I was going to stop and get a stack of burgers and just sit there in the dugout eating them during his pregame thing.
That would have been amazing.
I mean, that was also like clown comment to say you've never, feel how you want about Craig Counsell. Other people feel stronger on this station. Obviously, you know that too, Drew. But to say you grew up in Milwaukee your whole life and you say you've never seen a George Webb before, like that's just false, Drew. That's just wrong. It's just a lie.
He's just a liar. That's all it is. He's just a liar. Yeah. And like our guy David Go, the MVP of last year's Media versus Brewers softball game, he came out with the receipts, man. Yep. He found the story from 2018 where Counsell was raving about it. So Counsell is just full of it. As usual, what a shock.
Yeah, what a shock. No one's surprised. First team All-Humans, Craig Counsell did not make the list. He didn't make it, actually. So
a robot.
Drew, we'll talk again later today and then later again today as well, so enjoy it. We're going to be together quite some time. We'll catch up again later on for the leadoff show. All right, my man?
Sounds good, boys. Take care.
There he is. Right. Drew Wagner jumps off the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all. You saw that, right, Mason, where Craig Counsell had said he'd never, pretty much almost basically alluding to he's never even heard of George Webb. He's never even heard of
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Yes. I mean, again, I didn't grow up in Wisconsin and didn't live in Milwaukee, but I know what George Webb was.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited. And if I were him, I would go and get a burger because I'm not sure he'll see a 14 game win streak at any point. Even being there with a great team like the Chicago Cubs. So.
The Counsell had said, honestly, I've never seen a George Webb, referring to the restaurant, not the person, is what it says.
Not the person.
In there. And then David Go, he just said, commenting here from Adam McKelvey, who knew that we would make it this far, Brewers manager Craig Counsell said. And the biggest piece of stretch is going into this game would be George Webb's hamburgers. Literally quoted.
He's made comments about it.
Quoted it so hard right there and just caught red-handed. I remember the concept of free hamburgers going back so long.
Wow.
It's hard to believe that it's never happened since then. I guess it's a pretty good streak, but it's something for everybody to talk about for sure. And I mean, free hamburgers is free hamburgers, and all will be there. I mean, clown, total clown, Craig Counsell, what are you doing? I mean, it just doesn't even solve anything, Mason.
Yeah, well, it's just he just forgot that he ever was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's just it's dead to me. I've moved on. I just, I can't even remember. He literally still lives in Whitefish Bay.
Yes.
Obviously Mitch tells us that all the time.
Right.
So, it's you probably have driven by one before.
Absolute clown. And I'm actually a defender of him to some capacity. I just look like the nice guy whenever Sparky talks about him. That's really more or less what it is. But you
got to appreciate his time. I feel like you can't just erase the fact that he was here and just kind of throw shade at all things.
If someone
There's some
says
things that you can be disappointed about.
He's the biggest sports villain in Wisconsin sports history. I don't disagree from them. If they want to say that, I can totally understand why you might think he has some more traitor quality than Brett Favre does or whatever it goes from there. That I understand completely, but Now
for a long time, it was Longwell just because he said the comments about Applebee's whenever he was out, right? Like about Green Bay. And that was like petty in a sense because everyone took such offense to that. And it's like, Longwell was a great player and a great kicker for the Green Bay Packers. And it's like, but when you do something on the way out, people don't forget.
If I had a guy who stole my middle name, stole my points record, stole everything me, stole the second most point. Who keeps track of the second most points to not make a Pro Bowl like Ryan Longwell does? He was he knew it right away. He's like, I know all these records that Mason has that he is second. Maybe
Longwell's the best though. So don't hate on Longwell. He's the man.
We'll get into some more talk about the Packers and Brewers all day today. As we said, there's a leadoff show, 2 leadoff shows today, one starting at noon, one starting at 6 o'clock today. I'll be with you for that. We'll be joined by Luis Olmos over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and Drew Wagner, of course, as well. Yesterday, however, the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, just said the most out-of-pocket thing possible about the MLB and expansion.
Just ridiculous.
And it sounds like it had to be planted. It had to be planted in there to say, hey, make sure that you ask this question to Commissioner Manfred. But how serious are these conversations, plus the Big Ten and expansion? No, not more teams, but more teams in the playoffs, because we want to give everyone a participation trophy.
That's what's happening now.
By the end of the year, we will be raising banners for college football playoff losses, when Tulane falls in the first round. We'll get to it next on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.